Hi, welcome to the Freeman Conversations. I'm Jobert Ocal, the online editor of the Freeman. It's still the beauty pageant season, and Juan Cebuana would hope to make the Philippines proud next month as she represents our country in Mrs. International 2017. Please welcome to the Freeman Conversations and to the Freeman Newsroom, Jessica Eribal. Hello, Jessica. Very nice to have you with us. Thank you for joining us today. You are Mrs. Philippines International. Let's clarify first because I heard there are two Mrs. Internationals.
Yes.
The one in the US and the one in Asia Pacific.
That's correct.
You are joining.
I'm joining for the Mrs. International for Asia Pacific.
Asia Pacific.
Yes.
Okay, so at least that's clarified.
Yes.
To our viewers, if you have questions
Exactly.
for Jessica, please feel free to post them in the comment section so we can ask those questions to her for you. Okay, let's talk about your upcoming competition. How
Yes.
did you get selected to represent the Philippines?
Okay.
In the pageant?
We had a pageant last September 30. I was competing with 11 other cities. They're in Atrium Hotel Pasay. So I won the title for Mrs. Philippines International.
How was it competing?
It was tough also because I didn't expect that the candidates are all good. They were also very competitive.
So this must be candidates from
across the country.
Philippines.
Yes.
And we heard you are the very first winner of Mrs. Philippines International.
Yes, correct.
So that's another feather on your cap. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
How was the national competition? By the way, is this the only competition for married women beauty pageant in the Philippines?
Okay, we have Mrs. Philippines Globe. In fact, I joined it last 2013.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, so I think this is the second one for the national for Mrs. Philippines.
And
Yes,
we'll get
with
into
the
your
pageant.
background in a little bit.
Yes.
But tell us about the international competition. You're flying out next week.
I'm flying out
right?
on December 30 already.
How are you feeling?
Right now, a little pressure on my part, but I didn't let it get into my head. Yeah, because I'm just enjoying the journey, the preparations. I know it's kind of pressured. I'm kind of pressured with that because, of course, there are lots of winners already. Being one of the powerhouse countries, so it's kind of pressure on my part.
Right. The Philippines
Yes.
is not only a beauty pageant powerhouse in Asia, but actually considered a powerhouse in the world. Right, Carla?
Correct.
Our entertainment
In the
writers
world.
here.
I agree.
Agree. So,
Yes.
and another very competitive country in Asia is also joining Mrs. International, which is Thailand.
Thailand.
For
Yes.
So, how are you preparing for the competition?
Actually, I do a lot of preparations physically and emotionally because, like, around June, as I was really like 142 pounds, so. And right now I'm already 125, so that's why I'm trimming a lot of fats. So, and then aside from I go to the gym regularly, and
How regular is
like
regular?
3 times a week.
Okay.
Yes.
And how long do you stay in the gym?
1 to 2 hours, and then with the weight training, and of course for cardio, also for endurance, because I might not be able to walk well if I don't have any endurance. And aside from that, I do catwalk training also, so I have a trainer for that, for the catwalk training. And of course I'm preparing myself, and with regards to also my skincare also, so, and of course my smile.
Which is very important.
Yes, very important.
Yes. And the Philippines, to mention, is one of the happiest countries in the world.
I agree.
So we have to have that radiant smile and our beauty queens.
Correct.
So aside from the physical aspect of the preparation, how are you preparing for the very crucial Q&A? I believe that's still a crucial part of the competition.
Actually, it's not just like the other pageants, because the question and answer will be on a closed door panel.
Okay.
So, but during the national pageant,
the national pageant,
there was a final question during the coronation night.
Okay.
Because that's what we're used to it here in the Philippines.
Yes.
Yes. And then, but then in the finals, the question and answer will be closed door panel interview.
The international competition will be in Singapore.
Yes,
correct. Yeah.
Singapore.
Before we go to that, during the finals, would you remember what your question was? What the final question was?
Okay, my question was, why should we choose you as a representative of the Philippines for Mrs. International?
And
so my answer was,
if
it was kind of long actually, but I'll just have to compress it. Okay, so I think you should choose me as Mrs. Philippines International because I will devote my time to empowering other women by involving myself in advocacies which will help them utilize their full potentials, talents, and abilities to be an inspiration to others. This is how I envision the most resilient statement of Mrs. International, which is a woman for woman, because I believe that it is in developing sensitivity that would be a sensitivity with other women, that would be able to understand the differences with other women as well. And this is my most vivid platform, and I'm confident and I believe that I'm now ready to take on this responsibility.
Crown is yours. Congratulations.
Yes.
But I do have 2 follow-up questions on that answer.
No problem.
How do you plan to make that happen? You mentioned that is your vivid platform, empowering women.
Yes.
How do you plan to make that happen specifically?
Since my passion is joining pageants, it's as what I've mentioned before. It's not beauty pageant. Joining this Mrs. International in Singapore is not just glitz and glamour, because we do have plans of setting up advocacies also for other women, so that we'll be able to inspire them through. I want to conduct like personality development trainings, not only for catwalk. Normally for personality development training, it's more on catwalk and everything. I want also women to realize that how they're going to discover that what they're capable of, their self-worth. So that's what I'm planning. If in case I'll be empowerment, because I want to empower other women also. But I could not do that if I'm not feeling empowered myself.
Yourself,
also.
correct?
Yes.
Yes. And joining beauty pageants and the confidence that you take from there, I'm sure is making you empowered.
Exactly.
As an individual. And by the way, Jessica is also an industrial psychology graduate from the University of San Carlos.
Correct.
How is this helping you in your competitions?
Actually, as a graduate of industrial psychology, I'm being
What
exposed.
is industrial psychology, by the way?
Okay, for industrial psychology, we do have options kasi for psychology. You could go to the industries and to the school. So this is my option because I'm practicing my course with the industries. So I've started from the ranks also before I became a regional HR manager of personnel collection. Yes, so that is why the difference there is that of course you're a human resource manager or human resource practitioner of a certain company. So that's the industrial psychology part.
I see. So now you are the
I'm
HR.
the regional HR manager. Yes, for Visayas.
For the Visayas.
For our company.
So you were not just a mom, and I heard that being a mom itself is tough enough.
Correct.
You are also a working mom. How do you juggle everything together? A mom, a working mom, and a beauty queen at the same time. Not to mention a wife.
Yes, correct. I'm so blessed that I have the support of my husband. Of course, time management is very important, so I was able to budget my time well.
How do you do that? Because it's so easy to say you manage your time, you can always manage your time, but how do you exactly do that?
Okay, for me, since the schedule for my work is fixed, like it's Monday to Friday, I make sure to choose a job which really falls on weekdays so that my weekends will be set for my family.
I see.
So that's how I balance also. And of course, every after work, I don't forget to go to the gym because that's very important. Even if I didn't join any pageant, gym has been part of my life already. Yes.
That's a nice tip.
Yes. So it's merely time management actually.
And how about being a mom?
Being a mom, of course, since my son is still a teenager, but from the of
How old
course,
is he now?
he's already 15 years old. So I'm helping the schoolwork, the homework, of course. Be able to recall our lessons before, so that's how I help my son, and at the same time also preparing him for school like that. So I was able to budget my time well.
I read
Yes.
an article from 2013 because, to those of you who might not know, she actually joined My Pretty Mama in 2012,
2012,
right?
yes.
And she was the Freeman's choice in that edition of the pageant. So she was an ambassadoress of the Freeman for My Pretty Mama that year.
Correct.
And in the article that came out a year after, you won My Pretty Mama, and then eventually you joined
Mrs. Philippines.
Mrs. Philippines Globe 2013. You mentioned that you were able to go through, to breeze through being a beauty queen and a mother at the same time, and a wife, because you have a very supportive husband.
Correct. My husband is very supportive because, of course, he doesn't have a choice. He was able to marry a girl who really loves the spotlight. Just kidding.
You got married in 2001.
2001, yeah.
Okay.
I got married last 2001, and when he knew me, I already joined different pageants before. But I was still single. So I think he was able to adapt it in his system that this is really the life.
He really married a beauty queen.
Yeah, yeah. Yes.
So no restrictions whatsoever.
No restrictions because he's letting me enjoy also as long as I'm still young. I'm still young.
Yeah.
But he is really supporting me 100%. So I'm just blessed by God that I was being given with a husband which really supports my passion.
What about your child? Your son?
He's also very supportive and very proud because we have this segment before during the national pageant of Mrs. Philippines International to let the people do the most number of likes for the photo.
Okay. Yeah.
So of course my son keeps on sharing my my photos. So
generating likes for you.
yes, and sharing, and he has a certain post which says, "Please like my mom," like that. So I was kind of touched.
That's very
I
sweet.
told myself, that, oh my God, my son is helping me also. And when I won, he was very happy, of course, because he wants to go with me in Singapore also.
Are they both going to Singapore?
Both of them, because I don't have any other family who will go there. So they'll be together with me there in Singapore.
That's very nice. In the 2013 article also, you said here you were shy and ugly during your high school years. Why is that so difficult to believe looking at you now?
Yes, because I was coming from the province in Balamban. So I'm a very proud Balamban.
The home of the best Liampo,
Yes.
I heard.
Yeah, so I was kind of ugly back then. Because we don't have any because a long time ago I really don't know that there's this thing as modeling or whatsoever coming from the province. So I didn't have any beautification with my style. So I had kinky hair and I was having very dark skin. I'm still dark right now, but then it's really darker than this one. And I was very skinny. And of course, I was bullied before.
Really?
For being black, dark skin, yes.
Yeah.
So that was my classmates before, but we're already friends right now because they were shocked with how I came up with this appearance right now.
Yeah, because Filipinos have a concept of what beautiful really is, and we're fond of the mestizas, the white ones. Can you imagine the array of beauty products we have in the supermarket,
Correct.
whitening products? But then later on, we realized that those are candidates that actually won and made it big in international competitions are the Morena ones.
Correct. I agree to that because I think the pageant world has evolved a lot.
Okay.
So I think it's not something to do with the skin. It's something to do with the impact of that candidate to the public, and how to the public and to the judges. So if that candidate has the X factor that what they're looking for, so that candidate would really win.
What kind of impact do you want to give the judges and the audience in Singapore?
I want them to remember someone who is a strong woman, but at the same time with a beautiful heart, which can inspire other women also. Because of course, that's really my aim, to inspire other women, and of course, I want to empower other women through these pageants.
Do you think being a Cebuana beauty queen is an advantage?
For me, yes.
Why?
Because we had this mentality before that if you're coming from the province or coming from Cebu, you would not make it in the nationals. But I'm a living testimony that I was able to make it and to get a title in the nationals.
Right.
Yes.
And we've had very successful Cebuana beauty queens.
Yes,
and I heard one of the training camps actually expressed that Cebuana beauty queens are much articulate.
Correct. Yeah, when it comes to speaking, because I just love basta sariling atin. I love sariling atin. So I just love how the diction of Cebuanas. So I believe that we're being trained here in Cebu. The universities here are training the students well when it comes to public speaking and all those. Yes, that's why we're very good speakers actually.
That's right. One of the most successful beauty queens recently is, of course, a Cebuana from Miss Mandaue, Elizabeth Clancy. She won second runner-up, correct? If I'm not mistaken, second runner-up in Miss Grand International.
International, yes.
And of course,
I saw the pageant.
Yeah, you were there in the pageant?
No. I just watched over the television.
That's right. Yes. So, what kind of pressure does that give you?
Right now, honestly speaking, I'm kind of pressured, but the pressure has a positive effect on me, because instead of worrying that I'm not going to win, I'm not thinking of just winning the crown. I'm thinking of what's the best I could give to the Filipinos, because I'm representing already the Philippines.
Yes.
So that's the positive impact on me.
It's different now that you will be wearing
the Philippine sash.
The Philippine sash.
Correct.
Have you seen perhaps pictures of the other candidates, your competitors?
Some of them, yes, I saw them.
And who do you consider your biggest competitions?
Yeah, they're strong competitors, I should say, because they're also very beautiful. Of course, they would not be representing their country if they're not being chosen also. Yeah. So, but then I just want to enjoy the show. I just want to enjoy the pageant, this journey, because this is just once in a lifetime.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Yes. In 2013, you joined Mrs. Philippines Globe.
Yes,
right?
correct.
And you landed first runner-up?
Third
runner-up. What experiences did you take from there that are helping you now as you joined Mrs. International?
Okay, of course, since they're the same, that it's a pageant for married women, but what's different between this Mrs. Philippines Globe and Mrs. Philippines International? More or less, they have the same similarities on women empowerment. But for Mrs. International, we have long-term plans afterwards. So if we're going to win,
by the way, Mrs. International is annual? It's every year?
Yes, it's annual. It's already on its 11th year in Singapore.
Okay.
But then this is the second time that we're sending representatives from our country. Last year, it was handpicked, and this is the first year that we are having the pageant here in the Philippines.
So technically, you're the first crown winner of that.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, in Mrs. International, there are several categories, so to speak. So you are in the 30 to 40?
Okay, the age bracket here for Mrs. International is from 30 to 45 years old, so I belong in that bracket. Right. And then there's also Mrs. International Elite, which is 46 to 55 years old.
Wow.
Yes.
Do we have a candidate in the Philippines?
Actually, we had, but then again, due to health reasons, she would not be able to make it in international pageant. So I'm the only representative from the Philippines for my age bracket.
So will there be two competitions?
No, I think they're separate judging, but then I think we only have like same competition. I mean same segments that we're going to compete. But then there are for the age bracket. I think there are some which I think they will be segregated also for the age brackets.
Okay, we'll talk more about that later, but we go back to your experience in Mrs. Globe Philippines. What lessons did you take from there?
Okay, I've learned that in joining beauty pageants, of course, I should not be thinking of winning only. I've learned from there that it's joining beauty pageants it's not just competing with others. It's how you're going to better yourself. Because after that experience, I was able to improve myself. Personally, I was able to discover my weaknesses, and when I joined the last September 30 during the coronation, I was able to improve myself. The weaknesses which I discovered during Mrs. Philippines, I was able to improve it.
So what were these? Shortcomings. So
like for example, in the question and answer, I wasn't able to elaborate well. I was able to answer with Mrs. Philippines Globe, but then I was not able to elaborate my answer.
Yeah.
So it's kind of superficial for me. That's how I examine it, my assessment of myself. So with this, I think it. Although my answer was quite lengthy, but then there's a substance on it. So I would consider that one that's how I improved the weaknesses I had.
So
one
from
of the weaknesses.
Mrs. Globe Philippines, you really worked harder on Q&A.
Correct.
How do you practice? How do you train yourself in a Q&A?
For Q&A, of course, I make sure that I know the theme of the pageant. So since I already know the theme of the pageant, of course, most of the beauty pageants are more of the concept is more on not really like different. More or less, they have the same concept. That of course we should not be reflecting or expressing negative thoughts about yourself or about things around. So because that you will be judged not only because of your physical beauty, you will also be judged of what's inside you.
Of course.
So of course that
and
will
what's up here.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it's not. Of course, it's very important that you should also have presence of mind at the same time.
How do you do that? Because I can imagine with all the lights and all the people in the in the audience, how do you have focus when you're already on stage?
How do I have focus?
Yeah.
Okay, of course I do not memorize.
I see.
Yes,
because
I do not memorize because
there
if
are
you memorize,
who memorize answers.
So if you memorize, there's really a tendency that you'd be able to forget one sentence and you'll get lost.
That's a good tip
Yes.
for those of you aspiring beauty queens.
I don't memorize. I answer. My answers are coming from my heart. I really because if it's really coming from here, you would not forget anything. So that's how I answer questions. Yes.
So not even quotes or anecdotes.
Not really, but as long as I'm also aware of the different trends and also what are because there are certain trends in every year, every pageant there are trends, so you should be able to keep up with that. Like for example, we're in the age of the millennials, of course, so we should be up to date with also what are the happenings
The issues around.
Correct.
Right. So these days, at least issues, there are many issues in technology, social media, perhaps cyberbullying. These issues came out in the recently concluded Binibining Cebu. Many of these. Did you watch that pageant?
Binibining Cebu,
Yeah.
I wasn't able to watch that pageant. I think I had an activity during that day, so I wasn't able to make it. But I was just able to watch over TV.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What did you think of the very first, the biggest, so to speak, beauty pageant in the province?
Yeah. I couldn't believe because the stage was so wonderful, and then the candidates were able to really answer. They're also very competitive.
Very articulate
We've been
also,
improving,
yeah.
very articulate. So I should say that Cebu is also the powerhouse of the South.
Yeah.
I want to believe that.
You're
Yes.
claiming it now.
Yes.
Live on Facebook.
Claiming. Yes.
Oh, why not?
Mhm.
Why not? Why not?
Yes,
Right. So, beauty pageant training camps are actually
Mhm.
already are establishing
Here.
bureaus here.
Yes.
Bureaus here in Cebu because they actually see potential here.
Mhm.
So, in Mrs. Globe Philippines, aside from the Q&A aspect, what other lessons did you learn from there?
Okay, aside from the Q&A aspect, I think the way I walk. I still, of course, coming from the province without any training, I didn't know during that time that there's this certain catwalk training that
So
you should.
prior to Mrs. Globe Philippines, you did not have any formal beauty queen training,
No.
so to speak.
Formal like the ramp walking. I just
Yeah.
follow on videos on YouTube, but then it's really different if someone will be watching you and watching your every step and how you're
Yeah.
going to pose like that.
And evaluating you in the
Yes,
process.
correct.
So you all did everything yourself.
Yes, myself. That's
So
how
this
I do
time
it.
around,
This time around, since I'm representing the country, I make sure that I can give my best to our country. Yes.
so who's training you in walking this
Right
time
now,
around?
I'm with the KF training camp with Mami Jonas Borsas.
How often do you train?
Today I'll be training. After tonight I'll be training with him again. So the other night also, because it's alternate. Because last night I was working out, so that's why it's alternate. So I'll be training now for my catwalk training.
Yeah. Okay. Aside from that, what else did you learn from your past experiences?
I think I need to improve also more on how I project myself, and of course, because during that time I was very, very conscious of myself. So right now I let it be. So because if you get conscious with yourself, you'd not be able to be portray how natural you are, how spontaneous you are. So you should enjoy the show, every bit of it, so that you'd be able to give your natural. It's not like just you're freezing there on stage because of nervousness. So you should enjoy the show. That's the most important tip, I think, which I learned.
From whom did you learn that tip?
I just read
Based on
it
experience?
from the Beauty Queens. I just
Okay.
read it.
Speaking of which, do you have idol beauty queens? Who do you look up to in the beauty pageant scene?
Of course, our very own Pia Wurchbach. So she's my idol. Of course, Rachel Peters also is a strong contender of Miss Universe. So
We're gonna talk about that in a
also,
while.
yes,
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
also following her. So our beauty queens really are competitive, and also Megan Young.
Yeah.
Yes, so our title holder for Miss World. So they are my idols actually.
What about local beauty queens?
For local beauty queens.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, Carla Henry. I really love the way she speaks. Yes.
Our very own Miss Earth,
Yes, our Miss Earth. And then...
who was very effective, who was a very effective interpreter in the Binibining Cebu
Yes.
finals. And just
exactly.
a trivia, Carla was actually Miss Freeman before. Well, during the Tri-Media Olympics, she was Miss Freeman and won the title for us, even before she joined the bigger, beauty pageants. So
Really?
it's trivia. Very small world, right?
Oh, very small.
So aside from Carla, who else? Local pageant scene.
Who else? The newest Binibining Cebu, April Smith.
April
Yes,
Smith.
I love the way how she walks on stage.
And she also shared, because when they, after the pageant, the winning candidates visited the Freeman conversations, and April shared with us also her experiences when she was in high school.
Oh.
She was also bullied because of her skin color
Yes.
and her height. I think you can relate to
Yes,
that.
I can relate to that because we're dark skinned.
And kinky hair.
Yes, and kinky hair.
Yeah.
But right now, of course, so they can see that the beauty queens, those who are being crowned are having the skin. So I love my skin.
This is Filipino skin.
Yes.
Filipino, natural Filipino look. Okay, so speaking of international pageants, we just finished Miss World and Miss International. Our candidates unfortunately didn't make it to the top 15. Miss Universe is ongoing in Las Vegas.
Correct.
What are your thoughts? Let's begin with Miss International and Miss World.
Oh my God. Okay.
Miss International, we had Mariel De Leon, Miss Philippines, and in Miss World we had Laura Liman.
Yes.
For Miss Universe, we had
I haven't seen Miss World actually, and also Miss International because I was working. But what I just noticed was that for Miss International, I think the organizers are really particular on how you can promote your country. Because it's Miss International title. So that means, of course, one of the major considerations there is how you're going to promote your president.
Okay.
And I've heard that Marielle was one of the critiques of the president.
Just very,
Yes.
very.
And then I've heard also that their social media accounts are being monitored by the organizers of Miss International.
I see.
So
Okay.
it might be one of the reasons. Might be, but we really don't know. We really don't know why she didn't make it. Yes.
But what about the winner? What do you think of
The winner of Miss
Indonesia?
International is Indonesia.
And Indonesia, by the way, is also getting very
Yes.
more and more competitive.
Yes,
in the beauty
correct.
pageants.
Because they won also the Miss Grand International
That's right.
last year.
Yeah.
So I've seen that Miss Indonesia is very composed. Yes.
Okay.
They're one of the countries which I'm going to compete in Singapore also.
I see. Okay. And I heard the winner in Miss International from Indonesia actually trained in the Philippines.
In the Philippines. In the training camp of the Philippines. Yes.
Incredible. Your training camp?
Yes. Same training camp.
Same training camp.
Yes.
Small world.
Small world. Yes. I think we're with Miss International. I think I do believe also in destiny. So I think it was not really for Marielle.
Okay. If it's for you, it's for you.
Yes,
right?
correct.
Yeah.
No matter how 100% you're going to give to your country, if the title is not really for you, it will not be given to you.
And perhaps also because judging is really subjective.
Correct.
You can never predict how the judges will see or look at a contestant, right?
Yes, because every judge has different bases also. So that's why I agree with you that it's very subjective.
What about Miss World?
For Miss World, the winner is Miss India, right?
Right.
And Laura wasn't able to make it.
She made it to the top 40
Top 40
as
only.
one of the winners in what is this advocacy part of Miss World? Beauty with a Purpose.
Yes.
Project.
Yeah. So she topped on that segment. I think with Miss World, Laura is very articulate, but I think they have a certain look. Looking at the winners for the past years, I think they are looking for a certain look, a certain peg to represent the Miss World organization.
Okay.
Correct. I do believe in that because that's the reason why in every Binibining Pilipinas that we're doing, the titles we're being crowned has certain pegs. She is fit for Miss International, for supranational.
Okay.
Also, that's I think they have certain pegs also. Aside from of course, how articulate you are, how good you are in doing the ramp. That's one of the major considerations also. They have this certain look that they're looking for, that they only them can explain.
I see. Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
And Miss Universe is happening next week. Rachel Peters, one of your idols in beauty pageants, is representing the Philippines. How do you see her so far?
Well, Rachel Peters is very good in public speaking. Of course, I just don't know the nationality because she's having the Peters as her family name. I think she'll be able to do it because she's improving a lot also when it comes physically, of course,
She did very well in the
Yes,
Q&A in
she
Binibining
did good.
Pilipinas.
I
Yeah.
agree. So I can sense from there that she has the potential of being the next Miss Universe.
Okay.
Aside from that, also she's also very competitive when it comes to rank. She's very good. I've seen their preliminaries.
Okay.
And during the swimsuit, she has long legs, so that's her advantage.
I agree with you. Yes.
Yes, she has long legs, and if you have long legs, you'll stand out. So I think she really has an X factor to be the next Miss Universe.
Not to mention she has a lot of fans in Las Vegas.
Yes, I agree.
With many Filipinos there.
Mm-hmm.
Before we move on,
Mm-hmm.
you might want to say hello to your fans.
Wow. Okay. Hi, say. Okay. What's this? Malu Montejo. Hi. Carmen Mendez. Hi.
Yeah.
Hello. Good afternoon.
If
Thank you
have
for
questions,
watching.
If you have questions for Jessica, feel free to post them in the comment section. So, going back to Miss Universe, they just finished their preliminaries. What do you think of her? Well, you mentioned she looked very competitive when it comes to her height and her performance
And
in
her
walk.
projection also.
What about her national costume?
Her national
It's very polarizing among Filipinos. Many did not like her national costume, did not like it. Many also liked it.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts?
Actually, it's not like the typical Filipino being nationalistic. It's futuristic actually for me. An improvised sari manok.
Yeah.
But it's not that clear. The sari manok on top of on her headdress was not that prominent, so cannot be noticed if
Right away.
there's no focus if we're not going to focus. So yeah, I think the national costume of Peter's is for me. Since it's very futuristic, it doesn't really represent the Filipino culture. Because I presume that every national costume really represents something which we can identify the Filipinos.
Or any country for that matter.
Yes, agree.
I think that's the point of the national costume.
Yes.
But then again, these are our thoughts.
Yes, these
our
are
own
only our
personal
thoughts.
opinions. Yeah,
Yes.
that's right. And speaking of national costume, in Mrs. International, you also need to bring your national costume there. That's a major
award, and it's the first appearance during the coronation night.
I see. You shared earlier that you already
Yes.
have your national costume.
Yes,
Can you
I
please
have
share with
here
us?
my national costume. Can focus this one.
Yes, please.
This is the sketch of my national costume. This is by Lyndon Adolfo. The designer is Lyndon Adolfo.
A Cebuano.
Yes, a Cebuano.
Why is he the one designing your national costume?
Of course.
Oh, by
I
the way,
believe-
before you answer that, can you please explain your national costume? Yes.
Actually, it has a headdress. It's a Filipiniana with a headdress. So, Lyndon Adolfo is designing the one. I chose him. Yes, this is a Filipiniana with a yellow or gold accent here.
Looks very
And
nice.
then also there's a headdress there. We also make sure that I can really bring this one because we do have baggage allowance only limitation.
Yeah,
So that is why we made sure that this can be fitted to the luggage.
This will fit in your
Yes,
luggage.
yes.
How big is this? The skirt looks.
Yeah. This is there's a petticoat inside.
I can imagine you looking like a Sinulog festival queen. Is this the peg of your national costume?
Yes. I really expressed my what I would like to represent because for me this best represents being a Filipina. So that is why I chose this one.
Because of course, when you go to Mrs. International, you're not only there as a Filipino, but you're also there. You will also be there as a Cebuano.
Exactly.
And another important element in the competition is the talent competition. In Mrs. International, what have you prepared for the competition?
Actually, the talent is optional only, but then I really opted to really perform because, of course, I wanted to share.
You come from Cebu.
Yes.
And
Agree.
this is the bedrock of perhaps the most talented bunch of
Yes.
Filipinos.
Yes, and
We have to point that also.
I really love dancing. So I want to share also what we have, what we can do
Yeah.
to so that others also would say and can identify us. That's a Filipina, and
Yeah.
they're very good in that. Because I'm with my talent portion, I'll be featuring 3 festivals. So
Incredible.
yes,
Yeah.
3 festivals. First is the Singkiel, then second is yung Pandango sa Ilaw, and then the third one, of course, our very own Sinulog.
Yay.
I'm not forgetting the Sinulog because that's really my special. I'm really a devotee of the Santo Niño, so
I
I'm
see.
bringing my Santo Niño with me in
I see.
Singapore.
Is this your
Yes.
own Santo Niño you
Yes.
bring with you?
Yes.
Very nice.
The one I'm bringing every procession because I'm having that every year. I really go to the procession.
You join the grand procession
Yes.
every year. So in your, as I see it in your talent
Mhm.
presentation, the regions in the Philippines are well represented. You have a
Yes.
dance from Mindanao,
Yes.
from the Visayas, of course, and from Luzon.
Mhm.
Pandango
Agree.
Sila. Is that intentional?
Actually, I really want to, since the music is Piliin Mo ang Pilipinas,
I see. Okay.
I want to showcase really the Filipino culture.
Okay.
So that is why I'm choosing that talent.
Okay.
Yes.
What is the best thing about being a Cebuana?
The best thing about being a Cebuana, of course, is being a resilient person and being a resilient individual. That no matter what challenges will come along the way, we can still get up and stand firm and move on.
That's nice. We are now in the Q&A portion. So, moving forward, what is the best thing about being a Filipino for you?
For me, the best thing about being a Filipina is the culture of being very helpful with our kababayans, being helpful and at the same time being sensitive to the needs of our other kababayans. Yes.
I see.
Yeah.
And not just our kababayans, but our visitors. You're
Yes.
very hospitable.
Very hospitable. That's
Yeah.
one of our major trait that which really identifies Filipinos from other nationalities.
I heard that you will be bringing souvenir items for your fellow
Yes.
candidates in
Yes.
international. What will you give them?
I'm planning to give a small pouch with coconut shell. Yes, so that they would really remember that this coconut is coming from the Philippines, and there's a mark there which says Cebu, Philippines.
Very
so
nice.
they would not be able to forget about what Cebu or Philippines is.
So, after Miss International, what are your plans?
After Mrs.
Mrs. International.
So hopefully, if I'll be done with my reign. Oh, I'm claiming it.
Why not,
Okay,
right? Okay,
so-
maybe I should amend the question a bit. After you win Mrs. International,
Wow, we're claiming it.
of course, why not, right? Positive, as you mentioned
Okay,
earlier, positive
Be
thoughts,
positive,
thoughts. Yeah.
but do not assume anything.
Yeah, never be
'cause it might-
overconfident.
Yeah, overconfident.
Okay.
So I'm putting that on my mind right now. So if given the chance, being the next Mrs. International after this one, after this title, I'm also planning to join Mrs. Universe.
There is also Mrs. Universe.
There
Is this also
is.
Mrs. World, if I may ask?
Yes, there is
Okay.
also lots of Mrs. pageants already
Okay.
nowadays.
That's also every year.
Every year.
Is there also a local version of?
For now, what I'm aware of is that they're handpicked candidates from the Philippines.
For Mrs. Universe.
For Mrs. Universe and Mrs. World. Yes.
Let's just say you do not win Mrs. International.
Mhm.
Of course, we don't want to jinx it. But in case you don't win,
Mhm.
how long do you need to rest to recover?
It's not really because I'm putting every pageant I join. I'm not like really dwelling on it that is really for me or I mean. The title was I'm not a sour graper.
Okay.
So what I can do, I think I would feel bad also. Of course, human as we are, I would feel bad on the first night. But I think life has to move on because I'm also a mother and I have a wonderful family, and
Right.
it's not a great loss actually. In fact, this is just one of my passion to join beauty pageants. But my life doesn't stop from
It
there.
will not end
yeah,
there.
it will
Correct.
not end there. So I think I can move on.
And I think what every Filipino will expect is for you to just do your best in the competition.
Correct.
The crown will be a bonus, and we'll be very happy if you win the crown. And when you win the crown, but what of course your fans will expect is for you to really just do your best.
Yes.
I think that's what the fans would wanna.
Yes, they're Cebuanos. That my followers, my fans are really didn't really expect that I would win the Mrs. Philippines International.
And in the article in 2013, you also mentioned that your classmates never expected that you will join beauty pageants.
Yes, agree.
How did they react when they first learned that you joined a beauty pageant?
Of course, they're messaging me that they're really cannot reach me anymore because I already have this title whatsoever. Of course, they're coming from these are normal reactions from my kababayans in my hometown in Balamban. Yes, but well, of course, life is like that. So we have different passions, and perhaps this is one of the dreams that I was able to reach. Right now.
And of course, I'm sure they're very proud of you.
Thank you.
So a few questions before we let you go. Because I heard you still have to train later for your walk. What are your most important lessons as a mother and as a family woman that you will take with you in the international competition?
Okay, the most important lessons I got for being a mother and as a married woman. That's your question.
Yes.
So for me, the most important lessons there is that I should not easily give up on something. So if I'm having this goal or if I'm having this dream, I should not stop dreaming. And of course, it's not like a bed of roses along the way. So I need to cope up with those challenges because. Along the way, it's not a guarantee that it's a smooth road. So I'm expecting lots of challenges along the way. So I'm getting myself ready now. Yes.
Well, we wish you the very best of luck in your competition. What is the best message you have received from your family?
The best message
leading to the pageant.
Okay, from my family, from my husband. He just told me, he's very positive, but he just told me that I can do it. If I was able to reach this far, then I think I can do it.
That's very nice.
Yes.
From your
from
son.
My husband.
Yeah, that's
and
from my husband.
From my son is that my son told me to just do my best. Yeah, being a Mrs. Philippines International is already something for him, which is he's really proud of. Yes.
We'll give you this time to say your message to your followers and your fans.
Okay. Thank you everyone, to the Cebuanos, to my friends. Thank you for the support, and even from the start, before I joined the Mrs. Philippines International, the Cebuanos are really having full support towards me by sharing my photos. I was able to gain those likes. Although
is there going to be
most
photogenic? In the international level?
For the international, no.
Okay.
So we just submitted our photos, but then we were not. There's no voting.
There's no voting.
Yes, there's no voting.
Yes, please continue.
Yes, and thank you to my fans, to my handler, Miss A, my handler, my designers, my makeup artists, Marian Alcacid. I have two handlers actually. My first handler for my pretty mama, it's Remy Jurado. Hi Rems. I would like to say thank you. I would not be able to come up this far if I'm not if not because of you. My designers, of course, my sponsors. I have my sponsors.
Yes,
here.
please.
I would like to thank my sponsor Kevlo for my skin, and of course Dr. Franco Vicoy for my veneers, having this beautiful smile. So thank you very much, and to all Cebuanos, to my fans, to my friends, kababayans, thank you very much for the all-out support, and I need your prayers for the Mrs. International. I will be leaving next week, so thank you for the support, and to all the well-wishers, and thank you, Freeman, of course.
Of course, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm really a Freeman baby. So since then, since 2012, thank you very much, Freeman, for the all-out support. Thank you so much for inviting me here.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for the time.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, our Mrs. Philippines International, Jessica Eribal. Jessica, we wish you the very best of luck. Congratulations for winning the national competition.
Okay.
And hopefully we'll see you again next time with the international crown on your head. No pressure.
Yes.
No pressure.
Yes.
Thank you very much for
Thank
joining
you.
us today. This is the Freeman Conversations. I'm Jobert Ocao, the online editor of the Freeman. See you again next time. Bye.